playoffs for us. Because we're riding the plane, riding the plane.
Yo.
And welcome everybody back to Riding Pine Chronicles of the Fourth Line, brought to you by the Hockey House. This is episode 12. You know us, we are the Fourth Line, Punchy, Langer, and Summertime. How you doing, boys?
Yeah, good.
Yep, we're good.
So tonight's
playoffs.
Tonight's a fun one, eh? Everybody's got their own. Everybody's got our team that they're supporting on their chest, on their backs, on their heads, everywhere we go. And it's playoff time. It's exciting. A little bit different to be in a hot country, a warm country, and it being in the middle of the summer back home. Playoffs usually come June. We're handing out the cup, and we're just getting started with the cup. So, playoff memories, that's today's theme. So, let's go around the horn. How you doing today, Langer? How you doing, Summer? What's up, boys?
Not too much.
So you're a big Islanders fan there, right? Summertime?
Well, not really, to be honest. I like the colors. I bought it. It was like good price down at Jeb's.
I was gonna say,
just up the road.
That's
Jeb's in the mall.
That's a Jeb special right there.
I was on a tear for a while. I bought a bunch of them, but this in Edmonton were the only. And my Edmonton jersey is just filthy. So, anyways, this is why the Islanders made the cut. Good old playoff fever is taking over. Working from home, it's got on the big screen just a real low all day. You know, I can look up when I hear that. Oh,
yeah.
There's been a lot of that, man. Whew. A lot of melees and
it's playoff hockey.
Series, man.
It's playoff hockey. Some of the best moments.
If you're watching the playoffs, before we get started, you got to have snacks, right? So, what kind of chips are you eating if you're watching hockey games?
Yeah, I'm trying to cut down on that, but I save it.
Eating potato
for
chips?
The evening. Yeah, it'd be nice.
Well,
I just want dill pickle.
It's kind of like what Summer said, man. Like when you're working from home, it's in the background, so you eat all your meals, eat all your meals while it's on. Luckily, here in New Zealand, what a lot of people back home in Canada won't realize is that if there's 3 games in a day, the first one's on at 4 a.m. here, and they're all done by 5 p.m.
Yeah,
it's a full day.
Yeah, so then you're stuck with highlights in the evenings. So. Luckily, we got the NHL package over here that is a little bit cheaper than you can get it on home soil. So get our experience that way. But before we get started...
Is it cheaper? Okay, no, keep going. Yeah,
before we get started, what do we got for warm-ups today?
Well, I just asked you, what kind of chips are you eating?
Dill pickle.
See, I would, or like a bag of Hawkins Cheez-Its, or maybe some dirty cheesies from
Hawkins
Wilco or Walmart.
Hawkins Cheez-Its.
They're the really tight, hard ones.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. They're not the Cheetos that are actually big name brand. They're the ones that have been, again, like a jawbreaker, been sitting on the shelf for months.
And you get that thick grime off of it, and it just stains your fingers. So you need to take a shower afterwards.
Even then, yeah.
The
smell stays. Yeah.
What about a Muncho?
Ooh.
Remember Munchos?
Oh, man, the Munchos.
Munchos were good.
Yeah.
Remember Bugles? Bugles was a good one, too.
Yes, they were the saltiest things in the world.
Yeah.
Bugles. Oh.
Yeah, those were filthy with a capital F.
They're like little ice cream cones.
My
salty
God.
corn. Hey, if you ever went to a party and there was like a big bowl of party mix, did you like pick selected
bits out of the party mix?
Out of it?
Yeah.
And it's just nothing but pretzels at the end?
Yeah. There's just pretzels. There's pretzels and shreddies.
Well, the shreddies...
No, that's different, I think.
The shreddies were like spiced.
Oh, is that... Yeah.
In the party mix?
Yeah,
I remember
We used to call them nuts and bolts. Party mix had like sun chips in them.
Yes.
There was like a... pretzels.
Nuts and bolts.
The nuts and bolts.
That was a Christmas treat. Actually. There might even been like some tricks in that trick cereal. Some sweetness. It was Party Mix, man. I think Party Mix had Doritos in it too.
It's tough to get a good chip here over in New Zealand.
I know.
It's tough. Like you can't find a Lay's, you can't find a Ruffle. Like
Can't get a
No.
yeah.
Like there's
No.
nothing.
Can't get an all
Hostess.
I was
dressed
just
or
gonna
like
say
a
there's
Yeah.
nothing better than a good bowl of all dressed.
dirty
All dressed.
purple
dirty.
bag.
Filthy bowl.
It's like ketchup and barbecue mixed together. It's just dirty.
Well, that's why they're
It's-
called all dressed. They're all the flavors dressed onto the chip. It's beautiful.
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
What about
Yeah.
an O'Grady's or an O'Ryan thick cut? Like, what was it? It was like cheese and bacon or something. Remember that? It was like super thick. It was like a piece of corrugated plywood.
I remember.
Solid for dipping, though.
That's right.
Solid
Yeah,
for
it
dipping.
was solid. You could take the whole bowl of dip on one chip, and the chip
In one chip.
and the chip was fully structurally sound still going into your mouth.
It had a payload capacity of like
What was
20
your dip?
kilograms or something.
What was your?
Oh, French.
Like,
Oh,
they
straight
the
up
Philadelphia.
French
French
onion.
onion,
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
Straight up.
French onion, yeah.
Yeah.
The
man.
Philadelphia-
Philadelphia. Oh,
There isn't another
Yeah.
man,
dip.
I'd kill. I'd
No.
kill for that. Honestly,
I think there was
man.
a seal test version, but the Philadelphia
Oh.
onion dip,
Man.
that's the cup champion of dips right there.
That's right.
It is the cup champion.
If I won the cup, I'd fill it with Philadelphia onion dip.
Speaking of winning a cup, when we have a cup that we play for in the summertime. Summer, you've won it. What did you fill it with? Did you fill it with anything?
No, I filled it with paper and pens, and it came to a meeting with me. It was like my note taker for a meeting, but I
Nice.
forgot to take a picture. I got too
Waited his whole
engaged
life to
in the
win it,
actual
eh?
meeting, but
What?
I look like a fool carrying it in.
Turns it into a
Well,
pencil
and nobody,
case.
That's right.
and nobody on this side of the world knows what it is, right?
No, I told them, I'm like, I just want to do it to be funny. Okay, Aaron, fine.
Well, that's I ate a bowl of cereal out of it. I ate a bowl of cereal out of it, and the night we won it, the very first time, it got filled up with chicken nuggets on the way back to Hamilton.
Oh yeah, that's why I didn't do anything, because we were drinking beer out of it the night before and all this crap. I was like, I don't know if I'm not washing this. Anyways, yeah, I forgot about that. That's right.
And I think with that, we should just move straight into the first day. Here we go.
Yeah, right
The
on.
big budget's back. Oh no!
No, okay.
Sorry, we didn't have enough YouTube money.
Oh,
There it is.
There it is.
oh, okay. Jesus. Okay.
YouTube money.
And the first
That's
period
it.
is underway.
Right on. Right on.
Yeah.
Cool.
All
All
right.
right. So playoff hockey. Hey, yes, fever is here. I guess before we get to the playoffs that matter, maybe we talk about maybe playoffs that we have had, some playoff memories. I was thinking.
Ooh.
So recently, a bit of heartbreak for me. We finished the summer league playoffs, and no, we had a good run. We lost in the finals to the top cheese. Congratulations, Cameo.
Thanks, buddy.
Great work. Then we're sort of planning the prize giving, they call it over here, the hockey banquet. What would we call it? The party, basically. You had the cheese off.
The cheese giving. Yeah, we had cheese
Yeah.
giving there last weekend. It was pretty good.
How'd that go?
It's not too bad. Like all the boys show up, and everybody brings a cheese item to contribute.
Oh, yeah.
To contribute. So there's not necessarily any food at the party.
Why?
At the party to
Wouldn't that-
start, and then by the time by the end of the party, there's just one whole table that's covered with various cheese items. You got cheese chips. You got cheese. A guy had brought rolled up cheese sandwiches. Never had those before. They were interesting.
What do you mean rolled up cheese sandwiches?
Exactly how it sounds. It's
But what kind of cheese?
Like an asparagus roll?
kind of
Yeah.
like a piece of bread.
That's what
a
I'm
piece
thinking.
of bread with cheese on it, rolled up.
Canadians
Right,
will
okay.
have no idea what an asparagus roll
Yeah.
is, but
Yeah.
No.
Punchy just explained what it is.
Yeah,
It's
more or less.
cheese rolled
it's
up
just cheese rolled up.
in a piece of white
And
bread.
do you remember seeing it and going, "What the mother friggin'?"
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, the first
and then
time.
trying it. Well, do you
It's like
guys fan of it or what?
Oh, yeah, I like it. It's
Oh, I remember the first time I
Yeah,
remember the
it's
first
not
time
bad.
I went to a barbecue when I moved.
It is
when
what
I
it is,
moved here. And the guy comes out and he's like, "Hey, we're having sausages, hot dogs tonight." So I'm expecting him to come out with like big brats and you know what I mean, like
poppy seed buns.
Yeah, like I'm expecting that. And the guy
street meat.
He comes out with these miniature like sausages that are like this big, and a loaf of bread, and a bunch of butter. I was like, okay, like butter doesn't.
A bunch of margarine.
Butter does not belong on hot dogs at all. But okay, and then it was a big tub of red stuff that he was telling me was tomato sauce, and I put it on, and it just absolutely soaked all the way through the bread, and I was like, "What is this? This is not a hot dog."
Yeah, it's stupid.
But yeah.
But again, you got to kind of clarify it, because a hot dog here is a pogo.
Yes.
That's
so
very true. What you're kind of describing is a
corn
sausage.
Dog. It's a corn dog. Here.
That gray meat you can get outside of Bunnings or like Mitre 10.
Yeah.
And it's like
is it literally
pre-cooked.
not just hot dog on a stick here?
No, it's called a hot dog.
No, they call it a hot dog.
American hot dog is the one in the bun.
American hot dog is in the bun, and it always has mustard on it.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure they call it a fucking corn dog here.
Dude,
no, they don't.
No?
You've been here.
Go to work tomorrow and go, what's a corn dog? And they'll go, I don't know. A funny dog.
Better yet, around lunchtime, ask your mate if he can run down to the dairy and grab you a corn dog and see his face explode.
Yeah.
No, but memories of our playoffs. I don't know, man. We've had some good ones, man. We've played you guys a couple times in the finals. We're 1-1, right? You have
1-1.
You have one. We have one. You know, there's the nightmare that happened where we had the Leafs let down, where we were up 4 goals and choked last season.
That was last year.
Yeah, that was last.
I watched that on TV.
Oh, did you?
Yep, and as a Leaf fan, I just thought, yep, I know exactly how that feels. I could see it, and there was nothing you could do about it.
No, and I was on the bench, and there was nothing I could do about it. It was a nightmare. But it is what it is. I still think it's amazing that in the hockey house we have a full seeded 3 rounds of playoffs, best of 5s, and you got to win 9 games to win the cup, and it goes over 2 months. So
I think we played a total of like 28 games, something like that.
Yeah, fun stat.
Over the course. Yeah.
Fun stat. A couple of the guys on the Cheese actually cracked in our series that we played this year. I think 3 of us went over 100 playoff games, which is pretty crazy if you think about it, in that 4-year span. So, yeah, it's pretty nuts.
It's a lot of fucking playoff hockey.
Yeah. A ton of playoff hockey, which is fun, though, right? Playoff hockey is the best hockey.
Yeah. I'd say... go ahead. Yeah.
I was going to say, one of the good things about the playoffs or hockey in general here is you can actually bank the game and watch it at home because no one's going to spoil it.
Yes.
No one's going to come up to you and go, oh, man, you check your score. Because nobody watches hockey. So no one cares.
Yeah.
You can watch the news. It's not going to be on the news.
No.
It's not going to be in the paper. Nobody cares. So you can kind of wait all day.
I remember seeing it in the paper once, and it was I think it was when Chicago won. I was so excited. They won the cup, and Chicago won, and it was literally 4 lines on the side of the column at the very, very top, and it said Chicago Blackhawks win the Stanley Cup. And
did you cut it out?
No, I didn't, but I was the happiest guy in the lunchroom that day, and everybody thought I was crazy.
Because it's something.
Who are the Chicago Blackhawks?
Yeah.
In Chicago and Canada. No.
All right,
hockey fans kind of like the New Zealand psyche in the world. It's like, yay, I'm in there, hooray! Look at me, I got hockey in the paper.
That's right.
Yay!
Yay!
Look, everyone.
And only the Canadians notice it.
We're in the paper,
or the Russians. But all right, okay. So what about maybe favorite playoff NHL memory?
What's yours?
All right, so look, I'll quickly go over 2 of them because they both relate to the Senators, who are not in the playoffs this year, unfortunately. But if they had to probably beat Edmonton maybe 3 times, they may actually have made the fucking playoffs. But couldn't beat Edmonton, didn't make the playoffs. All right, so favorite memory number 2 was Senators made it to Game 7 against Pittsburgh, yeah.
And so the overtime game.
Yeah, and I was so pumped. The feeling was there. I thought, my God, we're gonna do this, and then we go into overtime. I was still pumped. You're just so nervous, pumped. And yeah, I still remember the shot and Craig Anderson going down into the style, and he didn't see it, and he knew it was over, and he just stood there for like what seemed like 5 minutes, and just utter.
Didn't that was post though at one point in that game? In overtime? Didn't he post or crossbar or something?
The Sens?
Yeah, like it was real close.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, that's right. I remember having that good, vibe.
Yeah,
right,
they were
feeling.
They were like the Cinderella team that year too.
Yeah,
the pesky Sens. And for Craig and like Chris Phillips and Chris Neal, it was the sort of last chance to win a cup before their careers end, basically. And I could feel their hearts all break watching. But favorite memory number one was when the fucking Senators beat Buffalo in 2004 in Game 7 of the Eastern Conference Finals. I was so pumped. I was listening to it on on TSN because they had the it was like Team 1200, I think was the radio station.
Okay.
So there's a link to that online. I was listening to it anyway, so I called in because everybody was calling in. I got through. It was like, oh man, I'm living in New Zealand, listening to the to the broadcast. I'm so excited, and blah blah blah.
No, went for a shift.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. It was a real cool memory.
I'd be hanging on for that one.
I wonder what happened.
Yeah,
like
they lost. Buffalo won, and then lost in the finals to Anaheim.
It figures that in the playoffs, Summer gets a shift. Right? Mm-hmm. You and I get stuck on the bench yet again.
Got to be consistent, man. Be brutal all the time, and you'll never get any chances.
which is exactly where we are.
Yeah.
He's back. He's moving again.
Oh, yeah.
There he is.
I'm back. Yo. Sorry.
So what happened in that series? I'm dying to know.
So the rest of the series, we... we're on vacation in Australia. I was kind of pissed at my wife for planning this vacation at the time. The Senators were playing in the Stanley Cup playoffs, man. Like, we were in the finals, and we got to go on vacation anyways. Family first. So we're in Australia, and there's game 3 and 4. We're down 2-0, heading into Anaheim, and we lose game 3, and I'm sitting there with he's like maybe 4 or 5 months old firstborn boy, Logan, and man, we were getting smoked, and every time the Ducks scored, I was like, what are you doing? And he would start like getting scared and crying. I was like, no, happy. I'm like, like my wife was out with, with her mom who came with us on vacation, and so it was just me and him. But yeah, So the happiest time was when we actually made the Stanley Cup Finals, but we got smoked in the finals 4-1. I think it was. It might have been 4-2 against Anaheim. So it was a bit of bitter disappointment, but. Good for the boys for making it. It was on that sort of run where, there was a Canadian team that made the finals for 4 years.
4 or 5 years ago.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
I think I think Ottawa was the first team that started that.
Were we the first team, or
then there was
we were the last team?
Then there was Edmonton.
Yeah.
Then there was
Calgary.
Calgary was in there somewhere.
Yeah, Calgary made it in 2004.
Was it 4? I thought. Okay, maybe
5 was the lockout.
Calgary made it the year before the lockout. The lockout was the year after that Calgary made it,
and they lost to Tampa.
Yeah. Wow, they won it. They definitely won that in 6. That was one of the most memorable cup runs for me because I actually lived in Calgary on the Red Mile at the time of it. Like, I lived about a block away from the Red Mile, so I was at...
That went into Game 7 as well, didn't it?
I was actually renting my parking spot to people who were partying on the Red Mile. I was leaving my car at work and taking the bus and renting out my parking spot at my apartment building. Yeah, it was good times.
Really?
Yeah, man, it was good times. It was prime parking. There was like couple 100,000 people downtown, 1 block away from my house. Like, it was chaos every night of the week. Like, and they played every other day, right? So every other day was just a shit show, like a block away from my house. So yeah, every one of my buddies, they were bidding on my parking spot, more or less. It was hilarious. If you've ever been to Calgary, it's a very spread out city.
Yeah.
And if you were coming downtown to party during that time, good luck parking anywhere. So they were my parking spot, and actually the 2 other guys that lived in my building that didn't have cars. Yeah, we were all renting them out to my buddies. It was pretty solid.
Good friend. Did you charge astronomical prices?
Oh, no, $20, motherfucker.
Yeah. At least you're consistent. I'll give you that.
Yeah. It just...
What about you there, Langer? You got a memory there?
Oh, I've got a few. I was going to wait for my period, but
Oh, right. No, okay.
my period. No, it's okay.
Yeah. Here on the rag.
Yeah, I got a few of them. See, I'll be honest with you. So, when I was younger, I mean, I'm a Leaf fan, and I like hated Ottawa and Montreal. So when you guys got to the finals, I was cheering so hard for Anaheim to win.
Yeah.
I wanted to see Heatley and all those guys have their souls crushed. Yeah. And I thought, yes. I thought I can deal with any Canadian team winning, except for Ottawa and Montreal. But I've softened now.
Yeah.
Maybe with Ottawa's okay. Well, Ottawa's... Because I had some buddies that were Leaf fans, and when Ottawa showed up, they jumped ship. Because the Leafs suck. It's like, well, now it's a fresh start, and it's like... So I'm like, oh, okay, whatever. And I understand, when I'm older.
Yeah.
But, I don't know. It all kind of depends, though. I remember a while ago in the podcast we were talking about teams you like and teams you hated. And I was thinking about I always hated the teams that knocked the Leafs out. So there was a time where I hated New Jersey. And, I hated Buffalo, and I hate Boston, obviously.
Oh, yeah.
It's always kind of hated Carolina, because I thought for sure we're going to the finals, and then Carolina beat Toronto, went on to lose Detroit in the finals. Hate Detroit. So it was kind of like whoever beat them, I kind of hated.
Yeah,
so.
yeah.
But, yeah.
Charles.
That's good, though. That's good. It's funny to look back and remember where you were when... Because, for me, the calls I remember are Leaf-related, and I remember I'll talk about it later, but I remember exactly where I was. There's 2, definitive calls in my lifetime, 2 of them.
Oh, right, yeah.
And they happened a day apart, which is insane, so I'll talk about that later.
All right, okay.
Yeah.
All right, cool. That's funny.
Like defining moments. So, yeah.
All right. Okay. I don't know. Well, maybe those are the I guess I've described my 2 defining moments. Those 2 times, definitely. Okay. All right. Well, then let's move on to current playoffs. The 2021 COVID special Stanley Cup edition. Yeah, man. So, okay. My favorite series this year so far has been... I'll probably go such a close Game 1 favorite. Favorites.
That's what playoff hockey is supposed to be. That's it.
Man, wow, it was amazing. So Washington and Boston, man, it was just rock'em sock'em hockey for the first 10, 15 minutes, right? While everybody's trying to set a tone and play the body. Ovechkin just destroyed Krejci. It was nuts. Oh, wow. Anyways, there were bodies flying everywhere. Marchand, what if I... So, Marchand, melee in front of the net, and he gets his glove up in this guy's face, and then And the guy shoves him back and gives him a pretty good shot right in the ref behind the net. Blah, 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 blah. And Marchand gets his stick up into this guy's face. Not like, just rested on his shoulder, but the blade's into the guy's face, just sort of pushing it up. And the guy, grabs the stick and he throws it down or tries to, get it off his face, and the ref gave them both a penalty. Yeah. It was weird, and then it was just before that there was an incident with Mike Wilson and I can't remember who the defenseman was. It might have been Orloff, where there was sort of a race up for the boards, and Wilson had the puck and he got tripped on the play, and I thought the ref was going to call Orloff for tripping, and then it looked like an awkward sort of a fall for Wilson, and the ref called him on embellishment. And that's a tough call, but yeah. Anyways, whatever. I think they were trying to it was in the second period, and I think they were trying to say to the players okay, enough with the bullshit, right? Let's play some hockey. But it was the embellishment, and then that weird there was no penalty, and then all of a sudden, out of nothing, really, both of them are going to the box and going for hockey. Yeah, it was weird. And did you guys watch the Boston game one?
I watched.
I hate Boston, so I don't care. I thought you were going to talk about the Tampa, Florida.
That's what I thought you were going
that's
to say,
next.
too.
That's next.
That's what I thought you were going to say. That's playoff hockey. I personally my favorite is the first round. Because everybody's fired up. Nobody's really beat up yet.
There's games every night.
Everybody's
4 or 5 of them.
All guns are blazing.
Fuck yeah.
They got everybody. For example, Tampa Bay. They got everybody back. They got all their lineup ready to rock. Other than St. Louis, who's got guys on protocol, but whatever. Again, the COVID Cup. But yeah, I've always loved the first round. And then you see it as the playoffs progress. Again, like you said, games get spread out a little bit more. Guys get a little bit more beat up. I guess not that it slows down, but it kind of does slow down just a touch.
I think it settles in. To me, the playoffs
true.
is a microcosm of a game. So I used to love the first period of a hockey game is great. It's Hockey Night in Canada. You get all the bells and whistles at the beginning, and the game starts. And then you kind of settles. The second period, you're having a beer, you're kind of talking, you're somewhere, you don't care. And then someone gives you the nudge. There's 5 minutes left. It's getting tight, and you're like, "Oh, I gotta pay attention now." You can kind of sleepwalk through. So then it's rounds 2 to the finals. You're kind of just hanging around, right?
Yeah, you're just chilling.
Yeah.
Shut up. It's getting tight. Okay.
Well, it is.
It's funny because it's true.
That's right.
But, yeah. No. All right.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah.
Yeah. First round.
I remember back home watching first round. On Saturday you would get 4 games consecutive. It was you'd get an early afternoon game, then it'd be the prime time 7:30, and then there'd be a Western game, and then there'd be another Western game starting in sort of the second period. And I remember my girlfriend she was so unhappy around playoff time. There would be no contact at all. Saturday night, it's Saturday night, yeah, bye, yeah, boom, playoff hockey, yeah. And that's like you said, you're paying attention, and then there's maybe 3 hours, 4 hours where you just sort of floating around having snacks.
It's on. It's like cricket. Blah. It's just on.
That's right.
I still think cricket. I seen a good quote today actually. If you have to stop for tea, it's not a sport.
Sandwiches?
No,
if you get to wear all white.
Yeah. It's
everyone wears the same clothes.
And have sandwiches, yeah.
Or if
the
game takes more than one day, it's not a sport.
Yeah. Oh my God.
I know.
I mean, anyways, but that's not the playoffs we're talking about.
Yeah, no.
Well, all right. Do we have any?
Yeah, sorry, more than one day. What is that? A hunting trip? What is that?
Man, it's an expedition.
Like if it takes a few days, like
you
going camping or
you're
something.
not wearing white on a
Seriously.
hunting trip. You're all camo.
That's a good point. Like as a player,
With a-
you're going
with a
out
zinc
for
mustache.
a game. You're gone for a week. Well, maybe that's a good thing. Actually, I don't know, but I guess it depends where you are. Right, and
it's a made-up sport, by the way. It's not real. Somebody's made it up. Anyway,
baseball. It's like
no, it's just
Southern Hemisphere.
I've got a
baseball.
ball. Let's go out in the sun and throw it around.
The first place that I ever saw cricket was, you ever see that movie King Ralph with John Goodman, where he goes where his cousin is the king. He's the king of England, and he dies. So all of a sudden he becomes the king of England. And he goes out and he's like, oh yeah, and he's like, yeah, they're gonna play some cricket today. He's like, all right, sweet. So he steps in like he's Mark McGuire and he's fucking just smashing it out.
He
that was the
points
first,
it out,
yeah,
yeah.
he's calling it shot and shit. That was the first time I ever heard of cricket. Yeah.
King Ralph.
King Ralph.
Well, I'll give them one thing. So I remember reading years ago that the hockey goalie pads are derived from the cricket batsman. What is he?
Yeah,
Batman, whatever. Yeah, they're his pads.
So
I want to see a batsman go down and do a kick save or something.
That's right.
Drop into the butterfly.
Get the hands out.
Yeah.
Deflect it off into the. What are they
Well,
playing
you're
on? A
right.
circle or
There
something?
is a very striking similarity between
Go back to the
do you
olden day
think-
photos of hockey,
hockey's
guys.
an
That's
old
all it
sport.
is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very much so.
But do you think the cricket copied hockey or hockey
No, if
copied
it came from cricket, and I also read somewhere, I can't confirm or deny this, but they used to use a cricket ball on the ice because it didn't slide properly. They cut it in half.
Gaia.
So that was sort of the beginning of making a puck. So cricket has some connections to hockey. So let's leave it at that.
Damn right. Okay. Yeah. Let's
Because
leave it at-
right now,
moving on to
somewhere in the
next-
world, there's a cricket game that's been going on since 1973.
So
Damn.
it's a test.
All right.
It's not a
Yeah.
it's not a game. It's a test.
Yeah, we're testing you.
Yeah, that's right.
When do the marks come out?
That's right. So when do
Does
I
anyone
see the
fail?
result? Yes, half of you do. Right, Florida. Yeah, okay. Great. Well, the game one was fucking
Phenomenal.
amazing.
Yeah, it was good.
Wow.
Yeah.
It was insane. There was another suspension in that game as well.
Bennett.
I think there could be two coming from the St. Louis, Colorado game today.
Yeah, well, we'll get to that one, but so game one, insane, like the body contact. It was old school hockey for almost the entire game. Like nobody quit ever. Everybody Ridgewood. I want to say there's one of the kids out there. Anyways, he was on the Florida team. He was giving it to everyone.
Oh, Lomberg.
Number
Number 94, Lomberg.
Yeah.
Bill Lumberg, or is that Lumber?
Yeah.
From the movie?
Yeah.
Office Space?
Yeah. Lumber.
Yeah, there was something ridiculous. I think it was like 128 hits in that game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was a big bang.
Yeah.
It was a banging game. Yeah.
And something like 4 lead changes, some other ridiculous stat.
It was insane,
Yeah.
man. Yeah.
And a lot of what do you call it? Rivalry in that being the Battle of Florida.
Yeah. It was like the Battle of
What
Ontario.
do they call it?
a little bit.
The Crocodile Alley series or something like that.
It was I thought, because I was watching it delayed, and I've been doing that. I've been not watching the scores, and then, after work maybe or something, I'll rewatch the games I didn't get a chance to watch in real time,
Yeah.
And wow, what just an insane pace to keep up. Game 2 was definitely a little bit more, or a little bit less physical, but the speed and these guys they have all come out to play some hockey, man. It is nuts.
That's a tough one too, man. Going back to Tampa now, down 2.
Yeah. Well, the thing that I like is just fans.
Oh yeah,
And you really forget how much that has an impact. Like when I turned the game on, I was like, "Holy crap!" There's people there, and it's just rocking. Like,
but there wasn't any in the Colorado, like in the, I think it was Colorado game. All the lower bowl was still cordoned off.
Yeah, different states have different rules. If you look at Carolina, Carolina's got a full house.
It's Vegas too, I think.
Vegas is at 50% capacity or something like that. St. Louis, actually, when they move to St. Louis, they're going to be 9,000 people, and I think it's a 1,600 seat barn. So
I heard Montreal's getting fans.
It's going to be weird.
Like 2,500.
They got to make it to Game 6 though in order to get them.
Yeah, but if they do, they'll be the only team in the North has people.
That's gonna be different. I wonder how that is actually gonna pan out once that part of the playoffs is done, like these first two series. It's gonna be interesting to see how that works out for Canada, the Canadian teams moving to the South, and vice versa, right? Like, it's gonna be weird. It's gonna be like you're going into a bubble to play 2 games, and then you're coming out into chaos for 2 games.
I wonder if they will do it like a neutral site to avoid the home and away thing.
I don't. Yeah,
you know what I mean? Because you can't have a whole series in Colorado, or like that sucks.
Yeah,
if they're playing, say they're playing a Canadian team, like that's.
And they won't be able to bring a U.S. team up if they got to do a quarantine when they get there.
They've got.
Is it a week?
There's a week quarantine. Yeah.
Yeah, so they're not going to, like, you're going to play a series over a month? That's weird.
Yeah, exactly.
I guess at the same time, though, the one thing that is kind of cool is us being 3 Canadians. Hey, we're getting at least one team in the final 8. Or the final 4.
Final four, yeah.
So, you know, there's a 25% chance that the Cup winner is going to be a Canadian team this year.
Yeah.
It's exciting, eh?
Yeah, that's kind of cool.
Yeah,
it's pretty good.
Yeah. I personally think that my favorite playoff series so far has been Calgary-Vancouver.
Me too.
Yeah.
That barn burner,
nuts.
What a weird one, eh? Like,
the regular season finished today, and it was Game 3 of the Washington-Boston series.
Yeah.
They're saying off air, I think they shouldn't even have televised those games. Calgary and Vancouver. They should have blacked them out in their home cities. It's either in Calgary, you can't find it anywhere.
That's right.
Can't go to the rink.
They didn't even.
Not even on the sports highlights at the end of the day. Just nothing.
Imagine being in a hockey pool and needing a Vancouver guy to get you some points to finish her off.
Yeah. And you win the pool because Calgary won 6-2.
Does Somerville just go for another shift? He always,
I think he went for ice. He's drinking rye.
Oh, is he drinking rye? He's going for ice. All right.
Yeah, he's picking lemon off the tree outside because you can do that down here.
Because you can do that in New Zealand.
You can take fruit straight off the tree.
They have citrus trees here. That's where you get it from.
Right. I got one right at my back door. It's great.
Sorry, ice for an injury there.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that a boy.
There was an injured empty glass.
There was a fight.
Your glass is injured.
Glass is injured. So we're
where are we?
First period.
Wow,
wow, wow.
Hey, Rick.
And the first period comes to a close, and we're gonna move on to the second. So when I was thinking about playoffs, I was thinking about some cool playoff moments, some ones that.
Sorry, hold on, buddy. I just had a thought. I was thinking of every time I have a Heineken, I always think of that Weezer song, "Say It Ain't So."
Yep.
Remember that one?
Yep.
The first line. What's the first line in that song?
I don't recall.
I can't.
Somebody's Heine, it's crowding my ice box.
That's right.
Now I always thought it was like Heine is like your bum. But like the other day, I realized I think Heine's like Heineken. Like somebody's got all their Heineken beers in his cooler.
I love that you're still listening to Weezer and you came across this the other day. That's awesome.
I'm not listening to them. I just had this and I thought, wait a minute.
Are you drinking Heine?
I didn't even know that was the first line. Honestly.
Yeah. Well, cheers.
All right,
cheers to Heine's.
It's stupid.
Cheers to Heine's. I like my Heine's.
The
Jebs and Heine's.
Episode 12 is brought to you by Ice. Ice and Heine's.
That looks like a delicious beverage.
That does look pretty appetizing there.
I like the rich color you've got in that. That's good.
Delicious.
No doubt.
Delicious. I forgot how much I
zero
love the
pop in
shivers.
it. It's just straight up.
No.
I mean, special shout out. Hopefully we don't get canned, but Shivers, love you.
Shivers.
They'll start sending us stuff like swag and stuff.
Hopefully we get some
The
swag.
second period is
heavy-
brought to you
heavy
by
hitters.
Shivers.
Oh, the first period, anyways.
All right.
And on we go to the second. So when I think of playoffs, I think of playoffs in a couple different categories myself. I think of my favorite things about the playoffs, and my favorite moments from the playoffs. I wrote down 7. I wrote down 7 things that I remember, and I'm sure Langer and yourself will probably remember these, or at least be able to have a little bit of input on these. Number 1, Messier's guaranteed Game 6. That they're going to Game 7, and then he gets a hat trick.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
Remember that
Remember
one?
that.
Yeah.
Hated the Rangers, so I don't care. Anyway, no.
Number 2, when Kane scored and nobody knew except him. When Patrick Kane scored the goal to win the cup in overtime, nobody knew except him. And everybody's just watching him.
Where's the puck?
Jumper.
Where's the puck?
That's right.
Yeah.
Right?
That was against Philly. Brian, was it Boucher or
Boucher?
That's right.
Which one of those minor league goalies was in the Stanley Cup final that year?
Boosh. I'm watching him behind the glass with Boosh.
Brian Boucher.
Another one.
Bobby Boucher.
Another one I remember, again with the Flyers, the 2000 Eastern Conference, Game 4, was Pens versus Flyers, 4 overtimes, and Keith Primo scored to win that
yes, I
game.
forgot about that.
Yeah,
I remember
that's
I
right.
remember that one because Keith Primo was like one of my idols growing up because he played for the hometown OHL team. And I was watching that with a bunch of buddies. The first time that Crosby and Malkin met in the playoffs, and they had dueling hat tricks in the same game.
Yeah, that was amazing. Remember that?
If you remember that, obviously, after 22 seasons, Ray Bourque winning a cup. That was pretty cool.
Yeah, that was cool.
Fun fact with that was he actually played 200 plus playoff games before he got a chance to hold the cup. And then quietly, another guy who made it 22 seasons without getting a chance to touch the cup was Dave Andrzejczyk, who I watched for years in Buffalo. And then obviously the Florida Panthers, who we were talking about earlier, the Rats. Just the Rats and the octopus in Detroit.
I think they threw on a rat the other day.
Oh, probably.
In Florida, yeah.
Probably.
I thought I saw a rat being thrown on the ice, but
Well, they did in the Boston-Washington game the other day.
Sweet.
His name is Brad Marchand.
That's right, man. Fuck that guy.
Then, of course, being who I am, like 2 years ago was,
Yeah,
I can get hit by a bus tomorrow and I'm good. Because it took me 31 years to witness a cup, so it was pretty epic. But the best memory that I ever have, we were talking about memories earlier, I didn't want to waste this one. So the date was April 27th, 1994. Sorry, the date was actually April 21st, and I went to school. And my buddy Mike said, "Hey man, do you want to come to a playoff game?"
You want to come to the playoff?
I said, "Fuck yeah." So on April 27th, 1994, I was in the building to witness Game 6 of the Eastern Conference Final, in which it went to 4 overtimes. It was 0-0. It was goaltenders duel between Martin Brodeur and Dominic Hasek, who put up 70 saves. And Dave Hannon scored the goal at 1:52 in the morning.
Dave Hannon
scored the goal at 1:52 in the morning. It was in the 4th overtime. And part of the deal was that I made with my mom was that if I went to this game, I had to go to school the next day. Well, by the time we got back from Buffalo, it was like nearly 4 in the morning. And my mom had thought that, like, the worst had happened. Like, we had gotten in an accident or something had happened because she had gone to bed way beforehand, 4 o'clock in the morning, finally rolling in.
She's not a hockey fan. She wouldn't have.
No, Mom wasn't staying out to watch
Check
the
the
game.
score?
She watched a bit of the game.
No.
She watched a bit of the game to see if she could find us.
Yeah.
Couldn't find us. Wasn't staying
Probably a
up
good
past
thing.
11.
Yeah.
Crashed, went to bed. But
My mom.
I remember being at the game because I went with my buddy Mike and his dad, and me and Mike were sitting on the edge of our seat for all 7 periods, and his dad passed out in 7 overtime. So his dad, so every single person in our row was fucking sleeping except for me and Mike. And like they had shut down the concession stands like hours earlier.
Oh.
So like there was no beer, no food, like it was crazy.
Oh.
Dude. Like they started to open them back up in the 3rd overtime, but for the first 2.5 overtimes there was nothing. Like everything was shut down. Like you couldn't go get popcorn, you couldn't get shit. And like and then like I looked at this game over the years, and like some of the players were saying like, so they had like post-game meals and stuff. Like they had eaten all their food in the dressing room by the end of the first period, and like it just went on. But this game lives on in history because it's the most saves in a playoff shutout ever in the history of the NHL. So
And who won? Who got the shutout?
Buffalo won.
Yeah.
Dominic Hasek made 70 saves in the game. He made 30 saves in regulation, and he made another 40 in overtime. And then I just, while I was thinking along playoffs, I was thinking of my 5 favorite things about playoffs, and what, like, how they're a little bit different. Is like, I love continuous OT. I love that the game can go on forever.
Yeah, I know.
I love the intensity and the hitting. Just it's
You can't run out of bounds.
yeah, everything just steps up a notch. Of course, it's the best trophy in sport. You can't.
The hardest to win.
It's the hardest to win. And then another thing I like, just because I'm kind of a geek when it comes to like trades and all that stuff, is I love the fact that as soon as the regular season ends, the salary cap gets thrown in a ball and thrown out the window. So you can all of a sudden give kids that you haven't been able to bring up, or veterans that you've sent down, they can pop up for a game and play in the playoffs. Like, you know, like when you toss out that salary cap, you end up getting guys like Cale Makar who jump in, and guys that play in the NCAA that are there all year, but they never get a chance to get called up, or the junior kids that have been just lighting it up in junior, all of a sudden they can bring them up, like an Alex Newhook, who Colorado just brought up. And like, I just love that they throw the salary cap out the window, and you really get to use your whole full roster. And
I wish they would throw it out the window permanently, man.
I do too.
I hate it.
I understand it though, because then like it'd be shit if it was like baseball. Because that's one thing about hockey is like anybody can beat anybody on any given night because the teams are relatively even, and like everybody.
Well, they are.
Everybody's got a couple good players on their squad.
Yeah, but once upon a time, everyone had like 7, 8, 9 good players.
Yeah.
If
Well,
you got a
you were
bunch of
New
teams
York-
that suck, then do a soccer thing. Make them the B division. If you win that, you get promoted to the NHL.
Yeah.
I would love. Can you imagine if there was like 16 top end teams? That's it.
Yeah, that would be crazy.
Could you imagine?
Yeah.
Could you imagine if?
Can you imagine the talent level?
Could you imagine if like the best?
Be retarded.
Imagine if like the best team in the AHL got like promoted to the NHL, and then like
the Hershey Bears are like playing.
Yeah, and like the worst 3 teams in the NHL get demoted to the fucking AHL. Like there's 3, like they swap like international competition. Like if you're like
relegation.
Yeah, if you're like the shitty team in the tournament, you get pushed down to the next level, and if you win the lower level, then you get moved up to the next one to get your ass kicked.
So the Buffalo Sabres will be playing like the Norfolk Admirals or something next year.
Buffalo Sabres would go all the way down to the coast. They'd be playing the Wheeling Nailers next week.
And the Orlando Solar Bears, exactly.
Yeah.
You get $1 million guys playing on a.
Speaking of some of those junior leagues, this is just before my period ends here. I want to give a quick shout out, man. BHL alumni got signed. signed to the Eastern Hockey League for the Maine Eclipse. Le Pilon's goaltender, Bar Bialik. Getting on a plane 1st of September or 2nd of September, and off he goes, man. Going to play in the Eastern Hockey League.
I thought you were going to say Big Jerry.
Oh, that's
that's right.
That would be
That's
amazing.
incredible. Didn't see that coming.
If Big Jerry went, it'd almost be like a Sergei Makarov rookie year where he's 47-year-old rookie in the Coast League.
Yeah.
Oh, I fucking love it. Well, hey, man,
truck nuts.
as always, short and sweet is the second, and we're going to move on to the third, and we're going to find out why today's playoffs might be exciting, but they're not nearly as exciting as the old playoffs used to be. Man, this budget that we're working with is amazing.
where the money's going.
Technology's working.
I'll tell you, my memories of the playoffs in the NHL was always watching Montreal because the Leafs sucked. So you'd watch CBC and the Canadiens were on, and they were always in the playoffs. So I've got a pretty solid my head around the history of Montreal because they're a powerhouse. And living in Peterborough, like the Petes were the farm system, so a lot of their English players came up through Peterborough, where they had they had a French team in Quebec, where all their French stars came through, like the Quebec Ramparts. And
Gotcha.
Yeah.
so we had quite a connection with Montreal. So my first time that I remember the Maple Leafs actually kind of doing anything, I was 14, and it was the 1992-93 season. So Leaf fans remember this because that was when they had that 10-player trade the year before with Calgary, and the Leafs got Grant Fuhr and Doug Gilmour and Jamie McCowan and Rick Natras and like all these dudes. Mm-hmm. And halfway through the season, this young guy, this goalie, Felix Potvin, was doing so well, they traded Grant Fuhr to Buffalo for Dave Andreychuk. And then they were good. They were like good, and they weren't the most talented team, but they had a lot of guts and they played tough.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So I remember, and I watched this because the whole series is on YouTube. So it was going into the '93 playoffs. They're playing Detroit, who were like heavy favorites to win the cup. They were stacked, Cicerelli, Yzerman, Lidstrom, and they were stacked. In those first two games in Detroit, the Leafs got smoked, like crushed. And we were just happy to be in the playoffs. So it was like, all right. Then the Leafs won the 2 at home. So it was 2-2. They went into Detroit, and they lost that one game pretty bad. So they went home down 3-2. They won in Toronto to tie it. And then they went back to Detroit. And they were down by a couple of goals. And I think it was Clark or Fleet. Somebody tied the game up and went to overtime. So I was in grade 9. And when you're like too cool to watch hockey because you got to be out with your friends? So I was out walking around, and it's spring, right? It's April, so when the weather, it's all cold and like kind of slushy and crappy.
April.
You get those warm days.
Yeah.
You get those warm days, but then it's cold and crappy at night.
Yeah.
We're walking to some field party, and I had the headphone in because it was Game 7.
Yeah.
And I was kind of like trying to be a teenager, but I was listening to the game, and I remember hearing the call when Gilmour threw it on net, and Nick Borashevsky skated by and just tippy touched it. And it went in, and Joe Bowen went absolutely berserk because the Leafs had no business winning that round.
No.
And I remember going to school on Monday, and we're like, holy crap. And because we just knocked off the best team in the league. We can beat anybody because that's what you think, right? You know that in that Ottawa series.
Yeah.
So then we went in, and like the next night, they played St. Louis because they kept saying St. Louis is playing is circling Toronto, waiting to decide whether they go to Detroit or Toronto for the next series. And it was the Leafs. So they played, and there was a double overtime game against St. Louis. A phenomenal game. Curtis Joseph, stood on his head. It was insane. Mm-hmm. Both goalies were insane. And that's the famous one, well, for me, where Gilmour was behind the net on Joseph, and he kept twirling behind, and he got Joseph all caught up trying to go from side to side and tucked it in. And Bob Cole went so bananas that you couldn't. He almost died. The crowd jumped in front of the camera, so you couldn't see for a minute. And the call was just chilling if you're a Leaf fan. It was amazing. So I remember that one. That was the next night. I remember. Remember when the Leafs played Ottawa like 3 years in a row or whatever?
Fuck.
In the first round.
Yes.
So I was with my buddy Mike, and we went down to the Dominican Republic during that first round. So I'm pretty sure that was the series that Sundin got hurt, and he was out for the whole series. So it was Alan McCauley and Gary Roberts we were putting everything on those two guys. And it was an overtime game, like 2 or 3 overtimes, and Roberts scored right off the face-off in Ottawa zone on the lane. Now, we were at a resort, and my buddy was like, we got to watch the game. I'm like, well, we're down in the Dominican. We're not going to be able to go find a hockey game. So, sure enough, because my buddy finds stuff, we ended up at this, like, beach bar. And on one side, it was like an open-air, like, bar, with the bar in the middle of the bar. On one side, there was a bar.
Really?
No way.
Wow, that's cool. Yeah.
In the Dominican. That's awesome.
Yes. Yes. They were, man. Yeah. Yeah. No. Yeah. 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 Oh. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Ah! Yeah, yeah. He died.
Yep.
Yeah, you're not allowed to drink. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, so whatever. Yup.
Yep.
Right, yeah, as he would. Yeah, yeah, well, you know. Yeah. That's right. Staring. That's right.
Oh.
Right, right.
And
Oh,
you
this is
guys
good.
are
This is good.
mid-T-bone on the row.
Yeah, yeah.
Nice.
Peter Nedved. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I hear you. Yes.
Yeah,
yes. Saturday night in Canada. Yeah. 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 That's right.
Yeah.
I'm taking a nap.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh,
I'll
that's
sleep
like
this off.
that was like when the Blues won the cup. When the Blues won the cup, I was absolutely buckled, and it was like 4:00 in the afternoon. I was like, "What am I supposed on a Wednesday? Like, what am I supposed to do with myself now?" Yeah, it's just yeah.
That's right. At 7 p.m. Yeah. Now. I don't care if you have studies.
So
How do I, Dad? Let's go.
So the girl I was dating at the time, she was helping me study for the exam, which was the next day, and it was like, I'll admit, because she was in my class, I didn't pay attention a lot because she did. So, you know.
Yeah, well, that's right. Yeah,
It's counterproductive if we both pay attention.
That's right.
There's already one person doing the work.
That's right.
So I'm like, okay, and Dad's like, we gotta go. I'm like, I looked at her, I'm like, I gotta go.
Dad says.
So this was the deal. I'm like, I promise I'll come back and I'll study the rest of the night, and then because my exam was at like 8 in the morning. Like, this is like big decisions.
You got time.
So of course I jump in the car and we drive to Toronto, and it was
Life lesson.
they played Philly. It was game 1. And I'm thinking it was the series that Roenick scored in games 6 or something to knock me. But it was game 1, and I'd never been to an NHL playoff game, and it was like the atmosphere is insane.
It is nuts.
Yeah.
Insane, man. It was like, wow, this
At
is like
Maple
another
Leaf
level.
Gardens? Fuck.
No, you went to Maple Leaf Gardens for playoffs?
No.
This is at ACC. I
Oh,
would love to-
right.
Oh, yeah.
Even okay. Oh, fuck. Even okay. That's even better.
But
Well,
just,
I mean, it's legendary.
Oh, I
yeah,
don't know.
I would
Wow,
have loved to have gone to
ACC.
playoff games at Maple Leaf Gardens.
Maple
man.
Leaf
I'd
Yeah,
love to have done that.
Maple Leaf Gardens.
Oh.
That place was magical, man.
Man, ACC's brand. Well, it was brand new.
Yeah.
It was state of the art. I mean, yeah, it's gorgeous. Arena.
My
It's all right.
my
Taking
favorite.
anything.
Gardens is the best, though. It's probably my favorite rank ever.
Well, I love the Odd
Is it
too.
good?
Like when that game that I went to, that long game that I went to, that was at the Odd.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a nice barn too.
Just old and gritty. And you can
Yeah.
just feel the history, you know?
Yeah.
Maple Leaf Gardens had a
Yeah.
trough in the bathrooms,
Men's
like
room.
you
Yeah.
pissed in a trough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just thought, we're
Yeah.
just a bunch of animals.
Yeah,
man.
that's
Like,
right.
And I remember when.
And then I came here, and I'm like, you still do that here?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
It's a bunch of, you go to a rugby game, you're like, that's a bunch of
Well,
animals here.
here it's not only a trough, but you stand in the middle of the trough.
That's
Which is
right.
like-
And
Yeah.
you can piss against
Yeah.
the stainless steel wall. I guess it's actually good if you've been drinking, because you just,
Yeah,
it
you
doesn't
can't go
matter.
wrong.
There's
right?
Yeah.
no aim
Yeah.
required.
It's
No.
like pissing outside.
That's right.
You can do it no hands.
Yeah. You can talk to somebody. You can have a beer and talk to somebody.
That's right. Yeah, that's true.
So yeah, that was awesome. So that's the only time. And then I left and went overseas and came here. But yeah, I love playoffs. This is my favorite time. But I don't know if I haven't really noticed it here. But back in the day, the refs let everything go.
Yes.
Like it was a bloodbath, and
Yes.
like guys would be broken, and you find it like so and so had like a broken neck
Well,
or
there's
like
been
Yeah.
elbow or like
Yeah, exactly.
ruptured spleen.
there's been a couple plays though, like that have happened so far where you're like, oh, okay, if that was a regular season, that would have been called. But
There's a bunch
But
of
you know,
them,
but
man,
that's why I
yeah.
liked it though. But it's like the players realized that this needs to be decided by them.
everybody except Kadri.
Yeah, well, yeah. It's funny. I was texting today. That was so true. I was like, oh, Kadri's playing for Colorado. I forgot. He got run out of Toronto for running around elbowing guys.
And then,
Like 2 years in a row, he got knocked out. And then 2 seconds later, I'm like, oh, there you go.
yeah,
he's
there
done.
you go. That's why. What do you think he's gonna get? What do you think he's gonna get now?
Well, as I told you, I think I was thinking 3 games, but because of his history, I think he might get kicked out for the series.
For the series, yeah.
Because what he did in Boston was, I mean, he kind of ran guy headfirst into the boards, and that was like game 1 or 2, and he got the series.
But what he did today was bad. And
You had no business doing
and I
that.
don't know if did you see Falk after? Like he was out of it.
Yeah, he did look at it.
And there's a good chance. I personally think that Yost is going to get suspended too. I think
I didn't see that.
Jost was actually a little bit more blatant. His was just an elbow, like nowhere near the play. Elbowed Robert Bertuzzo and knocked him out of the game as well. But that was just a vicious like up here elbow, like over his.
Oh no, okay, I didn't
yeah.
see that. No, okay.
I bet.
Like a back bow.
Yeah, I bet you they'll both. I bet. Well, I would expect that Yost will probably get one game, and like you said, I think Kadri's going to probably get the series
I think he'll get the series, yeah. I mean, that's the 3rd time he's done something dumb.
in the playoffs.
Yeah, it's a shame because, I mean, he's effective when he's not
It's a shame for St.
I mean,
shame
look,
for the
I
Bruins
watched
too,
it.
man. That's 2 D-men gone.
My take on the Kadri thing is, yes, I mean, the head is the primary point of contact. Look, it's playoff fucking hockey. Was it a late hit?
Yes.
I'd probably go with no. I would say, like,
No, dude, it
one
was
of
the
those
blind
fucking
side.
borderline.
This is the blind
Like,
side.
in the Florida game, there was a blatant charge late hit on, I can't remember what the defenseman's name is for Tampa Bay, and it wasn't even a penalty. And
Roman Hamrlik. Is that who you're thinking of?
No.
Not Roman Hamrlik?
No. Not Roman Hamrlik. Jesus Christ.
Wasn't he their first overall pick?
Maybe. But I haven't heard that name in a long time. Roman Hamrlik.
Roman Hamrlik. That sounds like an adult film star name.
That's right.
Roman.
I'm using that now.
Roman Hammerlick.
What's your name?
Sorry, before you go on, who did Kadri hit today?
Justin Falk.
Falk.
Okay. All right, go on. I just want to watch it while you're talking. Go on.
Falk.
So if you watch it in real time, like Nazem comes from the other side. He doesn't skate into it. I don't like. There wasn't like 3 strides. Boom. He glides into it. Falk. It was a bit of a blindside hit.
Yeah, he hit him blindside.
Nazem jumped into him. I think he meant to get him more in the chest area.
I think, watching it, I think he wanted to.
But he got him in the head. Like if you
But
watch it full speed,
the shot was
Nazem
gone
went
way
down
before contact. Is the thing.
Yeah, but it's playoff hockey. You're still gonna get hit every time 1 second after you let go of the puck, and if you're not careful, that's the kind of shit that happens. Like this is the same sort of thing that really, when fucking goddamn Paul Correa got fucking conked. Go ahead.
Sorry, I'm just watching it. Say the problem with the instant replay now is we watch these plays over and over and over, and the more we watch in slow motion, the more you really start
slow mo.
Yeah. So I'm watching this again in full speed. Just after Falk shoots it, he's bent over because he shot it, and Kadri got him when he was in that pose. If Kadri had been like a second later, he would have been standing up, or if he'd got him a second before, he would have got him before he went into his shooting. It is interesting, and they're going so fast. So, I mean, it still doesn't excuse him. Like he caught
but
him.
regardless, he has no
exactly.
idea Kadri's there, and Kadri knows he's about to blindside him.
Yeah, but it's what I mean. Like,
And if Kadri has
10 years ago,
if Kadri doesn't have the history that he has, maybe
it's
that's
this
different.
fucking player in a vulnerable position rule. Like that's like and that's where hockey's changed, right? Because you would take advantage of a player in a vulnerable position to fucking take him out for a fucking series if you could. Like you wanted to send him to the hospital and then send him flowers afterwards and apologize. Yeah. That was the way hockey was. Now, it's you have to be a gentleman all the time. You got to look out and respect each other, which I get. But
things are moving so fast out there. Like I'm watching it again, and he's just after he shot it, so he's kind of bent over, and it
wasn't that late. Like I mean,
I don't think it was either. But I mean, I don't know. You guys know. You guys play out. Like you can feel. Can you not feel if you feel in a vulnerable position? Isn't there a calm?
100%.
When you realize something's about to happen.
Oh yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, you know it's there.
You know
it's there. Yeah.
It's like everything just stops. And and then the car crash.
See, when I look at that play, though, I look at, if you're watching it right now, look at where Kadri is when Falk picks up the pass and starts the shooting motion. At that moment, he can tell that he has no clue that he's coming.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
Well, he's focused on but
whereas
is it his
Kadri,
responsibility
he
to?
is staring straight at him.
Yeah, but he's taking a shot at the net or a pass or something, right? Like he's not focused on. It's not his job to know that Nazem's there.
Yeah.
No, but
Right?
what I'm saying is Nazem doesn't need to hit him the way that he does. He can still hit him without fucking throwing his elbow into his face.
Yeah, but then he gets, then he gets
Yeah.
back to the bench and his coach is fucking riding him because he's being a soft ass and he's sitting and he's going down to the fourth fucking line because he's not doing his
No,
job.
what I'm saying Falk still goes down. But it doesn't need to be the contact today. Whatever. You're not going to win with me. I'm a St. Louis fan.
No, I know you lose it. I just pause
Oh,
at the
yeah.
at the perfect moment where he's winding up to shoot and Kadri's right. He's coming. He's right there, and you can just see
He's
as
lined
soon as
him
he
up at
bends
that
over.
point.
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
lined him up, and
Yeah.
as soon as he takes the shot, he's prone. He's bent over. It's tough. I mean, they're going so fast. He's going to get the series because of his history. Hit him in the head. I mean, that's the bottom line, right? So,
Just getting some more ice, guys. It's been another fight. I'll be right back.
I mean, that hit that Stevens laid on Korea in the playoffs.
Oh,
You've
yeah.
seen that again.
That's-
Like, he should have been like gone forever,
Yeah.
or for a long time. Like he killed him. Like that was the first hit that was the end of Paul.
Well,
Korea's career, basically.
he ended two careers of two of the greatest players ever.
Yeah, and he says there's a great TSN
He
interview
ended the
with
Big
Korea.
E, too.
He did, and Korea says I don't remember scoring the game-winning goal in that game because he was concussed.
Yeah.
And then he quit in St. Louis because he's like, I wasn't getting protected and I'm getting killed, and I just quit.
Yeah, that was...
And then in a very nice way, he said the NHL can suck it because they don't care about their star players. Interesting. Love the playoffs, man. Drama. Okay, here, are we going to do overtime? Because do you have a question or what's going on?
Are we ending the third period?
Well, I was just going to say, like, do we have any, like, Cinderella picks? Any big upsets that we're talking about or what?
Yeah,
Well, that's going to end the third, so you know what?
Okay, then. And there you go, folks.
And that's the end of that.
Game is
So that's going to end the third, and in overtime, that's exactly what we'll do.
Oh, right. Nope.
It's exactly what we're doing. We're going to go through all the series that are going on right now, and we are going to make our picks.
Sweet.
Okay?
Well, did we?
So we're
did,
gonna.
do we write down? We did this. Did we write down who our picks were before?
Did we write down who our picks were? Did it?
Well, we made some calls at the beginning. I think it was our first episode about.
No, we made some.
who's
We
gonna-
made some calls last week on the hidden episode. That
Oh, the Easter egg episode.
yeah, the Easter egg
Right.
episode. Yeah.
If you can find it,
Yeah, that's right.
you're on the show.
Okay, so we got Tampa and Florida.
Florida, Tampa all the way, man.
Around the horn. I you know what? I was just thinking Florida could.
They
I
can
don't
come
know.
back. Oh yeah, they could.
But however, that game won. They lost it in the last minute, and I thought
Yeah.
they had that game.
They needed that.
That was pretty-
They needed that game.
That was crushing. I mean, that series would have been 1-1. Right?
Here's
So-
a crazy stat about that series too. When Tampa wins the first game of a series, that they're like
They haven't
they're like
lost.
70% or something like that. It's
Yeah, it was like
ridiculous.
9-2 or something.
Yeah, yeah. Okay. So
Yeah.
we're
I
all
don't know.
we're all riding the
Tampa.
lightning dick.
No, I'm gonna still. I think the Panthers might. I don't know.
Kucherov.
I would.
I don't know.
I like.
I like
Huberdeau.
Barkov.
I was
Barkov,
calling
man.
Panthers to
Barkov,
go all
he's
the way to
awesome.
the final, so I'm anyway.
Well,
That's what my
Panthers-
boys
Panthers
got.
Avalanche?
Panthers to the final.
No, I
96
actually
final?
I had Florida and Vegas.
Oh,
Two
yeah.
hockey hotbeds.
Meccas.
Mm.
Meccas.
The cradle of hockey.
That's right.
Carolina and whoever the hell they're beating up.
Oh, Carolina.
Who's Carolina playing right now?
Tennessee whiskey.
Who is
The
Carolina
good
playing?
old
Tennessee whiskey.
I don't think it matters because are we all going Canes?
the mustard machines.
Nashville. Yeah, Canes are going to beat them. Nashville
Yeah.
sucks now.
Canes,
Their
Nashville.
fans need to know what it's like to suck. So now they know.
Rocco Grimaldi.
All right, then we're moving on. We got the Blues and the Avs.
Abs. Kale McCarr.
Fuck.
Nathan
That
McKinnon.
team,
Well, it's
Gabe
McKinnon.
Lanscombe.
It's
Dude,
McKinnon
Val
right now.
Natush.
that team
He's
is just
amazing.
too good. Even though I'm
Fuck, they're
all decked
insane.
out and stuff.
Tyson Jones.
At least I
Yeah.
can wear my blue stuff for at least 2 more games.
I got another. Another
I
week.
got about another week before I got to pick another team. At least I'm a realist, right?
Yeah.
So we got Washington, Boston.
I hate Boston. Go Washington, but my mind tells me Boston's going to win.
Yeah. After the last couple of games, all those games have been overtime games, eh?
Yeah.
Every single one.
Yeah.
I'm actually going to take the Caps, man.
Yeah.
I want the Caps to win it. Like, Ovechkin's playing really well, but fucking Bergeron, fucking Marchand, man, those guys.
Pasternak. Taylor Hall's actually like.
and Hall's playing
he's
well.
playing
Did you
well.
Oh,
see
dude,
his
that
goal
today was nice, yeah.
Yeah.
As if that went in top shelf.
I think
Like-
he likes not being the guy. He just wants to be like Phil Kessel.
Yeah, he's just,
Yeah.
he's just
Another
second.
guy.
He's
The
the second
skate,
liner
yeah.
now, and he's
Yeah.
a role player. And dude, he just needed to get out of the dumpster fire that is Buffalo. Right?
Well,
He's been in a few dumpster fires. He was in the Edmonton dumpster fire.
yeah.
He was in the Buffalo big dirty dumpster tire fire.
Oh my God!
Then he was in New Jersey for a bit. Then he was in
Jersey,
Arizona.
that's it. Arizona as well. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Buffalo and Edmonton are like a dumpster full of tires on fire.
Yeah.
Yeah, the tire yard.
Fuck. Edmonton, what happened today? It was a close game. Okay, sorry. Right, we'll get to that.
No, it's okay.
Yeah, it's empty netters. It's all right. Empty net goals, eh? Because I was 1-1, and then I looked back again. It was 4-1. I'm like, what happened?
Yeah, dude.
Edmonton, I thought, was all over them.
I'm telling you, man. It pisses me off. Like the Blues in both of their games now. Binner stood on his head.
He was amazing in game one, dude.
Dude, he stood.
Like he was ridiculous.
But he
in
stood
game
on
one.
his head in both games, and in both games they pulled him with like two and a half minutes left, and in both games they lost the draw and they fucking scored, and game over. And then in both games they added another one afterwards after they fucking pulled the goalie. I was like, oh, it's just like a nutcracker, man. Anyways,
Yeah.
Well, I'm looking forward to watching my team in the playoffs. 'Cause they
Yeah.
haven't started yet.
Hasn't
yeah, that's
even
horseshit.
started.
In a week.
They even when do they get going? Tomorrow, eh?
Tomorrow, yeah, tomorrow morning.
All right, so
I think I just might work from home
we got
so that I
we got
can
two more.
watch
we
it.
got,
I've cleaned my schedule out to make room for it.
what are the?
Good for you. Smart.
What other series? Keep going.
So then we got the Isles.
Isles.
Isles against
The Isles.
Isles.
Isles against.
Sorry,
Spurg.
Sid.
Spurg.
I want the Isles.
That's
rematch from last
Pittsburgh's
year,
had
eh?
their
Isles against Spurg, isn't it?
Crosby has been so good all year. I can't fault and Brian Rust is like the playoff magician. He was like the Justin Williams of Carolina. You know,
Yeah.
Brian Rust.
So Langer,
always
who are
coming
you
through
taking?
with
You
big
taking
goals.
the Isles or are you taking Spurg?
I like Crosby. I'm a Crosby fan.
I'm Crosby all the way as well.
And
not a
because of the
Rust
John
guy? Nobody's
Tavares
a Rust fan?
thing. No, I'm sorry. I'm not a rusty. A
No,
rustic.
not Rusty.
Sorry, so we're both
Rusty
we're
Rust.
both against you there, Summer.
And I don't like the fact that the Islanders lost their captain and best player, and they got better.
Yeah, yeah,
So
Like
true.
that's not supposed to happen.
yeah. Sorry, Anders. It's like
I'm missing a
This
series.
his
What
name
series am I
isn't
missing
complete.
here?
I hear his name. I'm
Oh,
like,
Vegas.
there's got to
Vegas,
be a
Minnesota-
missing letter on
Minnesota,
Anders.
Vegas.
Is it like Danders?
Mini Vegas, who we
Flanders,
taking?
maybe?
Oh yeah, Banders,
Banders, yeah,
And
that's
Landers.
it. Like,
Flanders.
Flanders.
Mini in
That's
Vegas, who we taking?
Well, whoever
Vegas.
scores one goal a game, because
Yeah.
nobody scores in that series.
You know, this one's a tight one, but Vegas, yeah, they got a better goalie. Pretty much what it comes down to.
Yeah,
for me.
he's
Both
good.
two
You're
good
right. You were
teams.
saying that he's probably my favorite goalie to watch because he's fun to
He's
watch.
Oh, he's
good.
exciting.
And he's-
Yeah,
and he's
Yeah.
agile
He's
and,
challenges.
Holy fuck, he's agile.
and his
man.
equipment looks awesome too.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
man.
love his helmet.
Yeah.
He
And
just-
I
the
love his
gold
helmet.
helmet.
Shiny, eh?
His helmet's
How about
wicked.
that? Yeah, like the whole. Anyways, yeah.
Well,
He made like
man.
3 10-bell glove saves the other day. Like
yeah.
I used to think as a goalie, I'm like, if I can make one awesome save in a game, that's my goal. He made like 5 of them.
Yep.
I'm like, dude,
Dude,
like
my
road
favorite
hockey
my
right now.
favorite one was that one that he made on Kaprizov, where
Tight?
where he made the blocker save, but he had the arm behind the back fully twisted just in case. Like, did you see that? It was so ridiculous.
No, I gotta watch.
So we're
that.
all taking Vegas. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
So
bam.
hey, we're moving north of the border now. McDavid just got shocked. No points in game 1. Are Winnipeg going to finish off the Oil?
Well, I think Oilers fans are nervous.
I'm taking Jets all the way.
Yeah.
I'm taking
Because they choked last year. Who did they choke against last
Blues.
In the first round, 4 games.
Oh, no.
Right.
No, yeah.
In the play-in
Yeah,
series.
the
Who did they play?
Oh. Was it Chicago?
And they choked.
Was it Chicago?
Yes, that's right.
Yeah, Chicago.
They had no business being
Yeah,
there.
Chicago shocked them. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
So I'm taking the Jets. Who you guys taking? I'm taking the Jets, but I'm taking Connor to put up 10 points.
For me,
my
the
heart
biggest...
says.
Go ahead.
No, sorry. My heart says Edmonton. My mind says Jets. Go.
I'm the same, but the biggest thing, and Jeff Rabb would hate me, Edmonton doesn't have a goalie. They haven't had a goalie in years.
They don't have.
Mike Smith is not. He's not good.
You know what they don't have? They don't have a defensive.
He's good at getting in the
defenseman
way.
either.
Yeah.
They don't,
Or a second line.
They don't have a Robin.
Yeah,
they don't have a
you're right.
Robin Regier, and they don't.
Or a second line.
Well, they don't have a second
Let
line.
alone a
They got
third or
McDavid
a
and
fourth.
Draisaitl. That's all they have. And that's why if they lose, everyone's going to pour it on McDavid because he's the guy.
Yeah, it's his fault.
Yeah. Yeah.
And the final.
Jets have a goalie.
And the last
Jets
one,
have a
Leafs.
goalie.
Leafs Montreal.
Sorry, J-Dog. Fuck. Fuck you, Leafs. But look, the Habs, I'm thinking it'll go in 5 games probably. But if the Habs do come out to play, they do have a chance of knocking the Leafs out. They'll be one of those series where, like, how did Matthews not score enough or Marner not score? Like, what was their problem? They got stifled, and it's like the playoff bug. They're too young, inexperienced, yada, 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 not proven.
I think this is one of the best things that could have happened to hockey this year is these two teams meeting each other in the first
And
round.
such a
First
shame
time
that
since
there's no fans.
1967.
It is a shame.
79. 79, they got swept by
79.
Montreal.
Yeah.
Well,
And the team and Montreal won the cup that year.
Oh, yeah. Right. okay.
if there's game 6, there will be fans.
Got the facts, Lang.
So
You
here's
got the
my
facts.
hot take on this. So, the Leafs are really good at doing leafy things, and if you don't know what that means, is they will find a way to do something terrible and completely
And
break the
lose
hearts
it.
of the fans.
Yeah.
So I'm predicting this series is probably going to go
Leafy
6,
things.
maybe even 7 games. I think you're going to see 4 goalies in the series.
Oh, shit.
4 goals.
I think you're going to see both goalies from each team.
Yeah.
Yeah.
At some point, yeah. Okay. I didn't know. I expect to see Anderson. Maybe one game he gets pulled, but it's highly unlikely in my
I think it's crazy.
opinion.
I think it's crazy that, like, so both goalies that you've looked at as being mainstays for those franchises, both of those goalies have played games in the AHL this year.
And they were both garbage,
Freddie's
too,
not
when
in
they
net.
played.
It's
No, Jack
who is
Campbell's
it?
playing.
No, Jack
that's
Campbell's
right.
in net for them, but, like, as of right now, Carey Price is on assignment in the AHL.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he's
That's
coming
right.
back. He's going to play tomorrow.
Yeah, he'll play tomorrow night, but it's kind of wild. Like, that never
Hasn't
happens.
played in like 2 months.
That never happens that your NHL starting goaltender,
Yeah.
just throws
Warms
a
up.
couple AHL games into the mix. It's really weird.
We've just sent
It
Dominic
is
Hasek
weird,
down
yeah, I
to
thought that
Rochester
was
for a conditioning stint.
Yeah,
That's right.
We've just sent Wayne Gretzky down
Conditioning stint.
to Toledo for a conditioning stint. It's like they didn't do that with Kucherov. He just showed he hasn't played all year. He shows up and scores 2 goals.
Yeah, boom, thanks. Yeah.
He didn't play. Yeah, he didn't go to like Fort Worth, Texas for a couple of games
That's right.
but
with his Russian beard.
I think a couple games just before we head into the playoffs next year, we'll send Dagsy down to the sauce for a little warm up, just to get her going.
Send him down to Bantam single A.
That's right.
Get him 8 or 9 minutes in. Just get the legs going.
And that's going to do it for episode 12 of Ride and Pine. We're going to leave it on that. If you want to get sent down to the minors, let's all put together a petition to have the worst team in the NHL be relegated to the AHL for next season.
That's right.
And the best team in the AHL to come on up. Anyways, from all of us here on the Fourth Line, we thank you for popping by, and we look forward to seeing y'all next week.
Time. All right.
It's good that we'll never get sent down to the minors because we're just good enough to sit on the bench.
That's right. Yeah.
It's good enough.
Just
Right in the pine,
Right in the pine.
Chronicles and playoff time. We're just sitting on the bench because we're good enough to not play in the playoffs, but we're pretty good just to sit there all night.
All the time.
One
Whiskey
week
time,
left.
all the time. Yeah. Good luck, boys and girls, because we're right in the pine, right in the pine. With Punchy Langer in summertime.
Woohoo! Where'd Punchy go? All right. See
No,
you,
I
Punch.
don't know.
All right. Good game.
Get the
Picking up his
pucks.
mouth guard.
Okay. All right. I'll get the sticks then. Okay.
All right, I'll get the ice.